the first time in the first business. What is it all about internationalization and globalization? Many companies are called international companies just because they are using the export mode to a lot of different countries. Then you call them international companies. But in a continuum from the one side to the other side, from left to right, you might say that a company can be totally a home market company. Then it goes using the Uppsala model, step by step, vertically country nearby and next country and so on. And people grow internationally. But it is able to grow internationally just by using the export modes. But if a company is a so-called global company, it is because this company has a physical presence in many countries and is totally indifferent in using and where to use the different elements of its value chain. Then it might be called a global company. So a global company has a more stable and physical presence in other countries than an international company just using export agents or distributors. Because a global company will be present in a lot of countries with their own subsidiaries or with their region centers, and is totally indifferent where to place its different value chain elements. Does it begin? Fine. Basically. These pages I have written them myself because I want to help a little in just instead of just presenting the drawings and the models from the book. So you have to read these ones very carefully because it gives you a thorough understanding of what are we talking about today. We have three different entry modes. Export modes, you have indirect export mode, and you have direct export mode. Collaborative export, and you have mutual export out, and so on. Intermediate mode, you have different kinds of contractual agreement with a contract manufacturer, or direct exchange, or franchise agreement. Non-mutual. All of these are based on a contractual legislation and agreement. Then you have the other entity, which means that the company owns its subsidiaries in different countries. Here we have a huge level of control from the company because it owns their representatives in the other countries or the sales representatives or subsidiaries. A company can use anyone it wants to. It can use anyone for these three entry modes. Often, the company starts with this one and gets more and more integrated with other companies and totally integrated within itself in the other countries, in the hierarchical modes. Here we have the intermediate modes, which are more integrated than these ones. Here I just tell You will you be nice and kind to sell my glasses to Sweden? This is a indirect export agreement, indirect export agreement, because I make an agreement with a little one-man company, one person-owned company inside Denmark. Inside Denmark. If I make a contact to you and ask you, will be kind to sell this lighter for cigarettes smoking to Germany, and you are situated and placed in Berlin in Germany, then it will be a direct export because I make an agreement with a company placed and situated physically in the other country. So here we have the essence. Order. If I contact Martin, will you be kind to sell my furniture to the Swedish market? It's in this cost, and that's the whole lorry, and I all the way across the border to Sweden and sell my furniture. Is that indirect or direct export? That's indirect. That's correct. And if you are in the other country, we will call it direct export. So we have to focus where is the border and where is the companies that we are dealing with and having a contract agreement, where are they situated? You have to be aware of these three different entry modes. And of course, when we are dealing with a kind of partnership or collaboration with other companies, if the partner does very well and the market, the country is very attractive because it has a huge and big buying power, not that much competition, and the customers and the supermarkets and middlemen are interested in buying Tøger's furniture. Of course, we have to consider integration with Martin's company. Is it a bad partner? Of course, we consider to have a new partner. Just like two good friends, or just like a marriage. If the husband always is a bad one to his wife, of course he wonders, would I be better off if I gave him a sack? Or if the woman was, if the wife was a bad one, of course the husband would prefer to live by himself or find another partner. It's just the same. Oops. What is it that I am aware of this theory? Because a famous French professor called Montou especially has developed a huge analysis and theoretical underpinnings that found out that many collaborative agreements between partners, one company dealing with another company, are called Montou's marriage, Montou's model of marriage, consisting of 5 stages. So having a partner to sell its products or having a collaborative agreement is just like a marriage. It can go well or it can break to pieces, just like partnership agreements. We just had one break. I continue. This one, oh, it's a difficult one. But I like it because it has major interesting and relevant elements of choosing the right entry mode, cause different factors. Please look up to the board. We have 4 factors of relevance. The internal factors, what you value in the management in the company. We have transaction-specific factors, and we have the environment, the external factors, the environment. You have to look at these 2 signs in the beginning of analyzing this model. These 2 signs, a plus means that you internalize more and more. A minus means that you internalize less and less. Or put in another way, a minus means that you, instead of internalizing, want to externalize. Are some of you bright students? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ah, I have a successful day. 24 students have attended my class today. Very nice. Are you familiar with the term internalization? What is it all about to internalize? Not internationalization. What is it all about to internalize in a company? Yes. What is it all about?
I think it's all about getting the knowing and understanding.
No, that's not correct. What is it about?
Walking more within the place.
Pardon, one more.
Walking more within the company's
Walking more within. Nearly correct. To internalize, are you aware of the meaning of internal? Yes, inside the company. Internalization means that the company decides by itself. We do our entry-mode activities, hierarchical or export or intermediate. We do the activities by ourselves. That is to internalize. If I want to make some export activities of my handkerchief and ask Martin's and your name, Camilla's company, then now they have founded a big famous company, Martin and Camilla. I will ask them, will you be kind to sell my handkerchief to India and China and Spain? And they do all the export activity. Then we are talking about externalization because I give them my products and they do all the job of selling the product to other countries. They do externalization. External from my company. But if I hire you into my company and you will be a sales executive, you will be, I will then use the internalization because I use my own stack. Does it give meaning? Good. And remember, don't hesitate to put me a question if there's something that I don't explain well enough. We just have 3 more times today and 2 more times, so don't hesitate to ask me some questions. Yes?
Could you say that it's the same as the outsourcing?
Just once more.
Could you say that it's the same as outsourcing?
It's a kind of outsourcing activity many elements, that's correct. In the majority foreign and all, in the majority of examples, we use the word outsourcing of one specific element because my company is bad making sales activities. Then I'll do the research and development and the manufacturing, the production process, and the administration, but I will let you sell my product. Then we outsource the selling activity. But you might say that the externalization is a kind of huge outsourcing elements. More than just one element of the value chain. That's correct. And that means if you want, please look at me. If you want in your company, Martin and Camilla, you want to have a big level of control with your foreign activities. It states a plus, it means increased internalization. That means in the end you might own your own company, or you might own your own sales representatives in the foreign markets. If you want in the management of Martin and Camilla's company to have a huge amount of flexibility, you should use a decreasing internalization. That means you should make an agreement with a export company, export house, or export agent or distributor, because then you won't have any financial problems. You just have to pay them for selling your furniture. You don't have to build a new company or a new office with a staff and so on in the other countries. This is a relevant model of showing you which 4 factors affect my company's decision about the 3 different entry modes: export, intermediate, and contractual hierarchy. And that's why I've been looking forward to seeing you today, because there's some famous series, some famous models. The export modes, you can have a glance at this one. This side, we have our home country here, and that's the border, and that's another country. Home country, physical border, and other country. That means indirect export. If Martin and Camilla are living in a and having a factory and selling company in Roskilde, and that I am doing research, development, production, and marketing in Denmark, and my company is in Roskilde too, I contact these 2 people inside Denmark border, and they go beyond the border and they sell my furniture to other countries. They are indirect exporting companies. If I contact a company outside Denmark border to sell my products to customers, to supermarkets, to chains, then I'm using direct export and so on. Does it give meaning to you? Excellent. The next one I call intermediate mode. Here we have different kinds of long-lasting contracts. Long-lasting contracts, 5, 7, 10 years normally. In Denmark, in home country, we have research development, marketing, sales, and services. But production in China or in Norway or wherever else, that means we have a contract manufacturer. which is a kind of sub-supplier to my company, but is situated in another country where the wages is low. That gives meaning, because then I will have a huge profits in my company if I use company workers with low wages. Then these countries are efficient, they are effective, and they are competitive in the matter of speaking wages. I can have a license agreement. For instance, in Denmark, we have our research and development, and you all are familiar with the Danish famous company Carlsberg. Which company in Denmark, with your knowledge, is using the most amount of marketing and promotion budgets in Denmark? Which company of all Danish companies are using the most and huge amount of money for marketing and promotion activity? Are you aware? Are you aware? Which company do you think uses the biggest amount of money for marketing and promotion activity? One company. Correct. Carlsberg is the company that uses about 500 million Danish kroner, $500 million. Just think about Olympic Games, of World Championship and World Football League and Inter OL and so on. Carlsberg uses the biggest amount of money of promotion activities. That's correct. And Carlsberg uses, now I'm using some elements, some examples. Now Carlsberg uses the strategy called licensing, because Carlsberg gives a licensee agreement to another company in another country and said, you may produce some of our products. Coca-Cola in America gives licensing agreement to Carlsberg in Denmark, because it's Carlsberg in Fredericia in Jutland which produces the Coca-Cola. So they have a license agreement. So some famous companies using this licensing agreement. You're all familiar with McDonald's Corporation, McDonald's. This is an example of franchising company. I'll give a whole concept of business to you people, or for you people. Then you may have your own McDonald's shop in Roskilde. And remember, to give your teachers a discount if I am attending your shop or restaurant. But McDonald's is using this franchise strategy. You can have it all concepts, not just the production facility of the Coca-Cola, but you can use our complete business concept getting a franchise shop. Then you can have some joint ventures and strategic alliances and so on. Look at me. Joint venture is this one. Company 1 makes an agreement, a joint venture with company 2, and the result will be a baby company. A baby company called company C. Because the baby company or company C, joint venture C, is a specific singular company with its own management, and it decides everything. That's why it's a baby, it's a singular company. On the other way, we can have a strategic alliance where company A makes a collaboration with company B concerning specific value chain activities. For instance, marketing or research and development. That's a strategic alliance. Here we have a whole new company as a result. Here we just have a result as a kind of collaboration. Now I'll show the two specific terms called Y and X coalition. Please look at me. This is an X, this is a Y. The Y coalition means that this company marketing collaborates with another company about marketing, or this company collaborates with another company about research and development. The X coalition means this company A collaborates, works together with another company about research and development, and the other company will supplement with sales and service or marketing activity. Some different aspects of value chain competences. That's the one kind of strategic alliance. And the other kind of strategic alliance or coalition will be that we work together concerning specific elements. I can put an example from the real life to you. A real example, you are familiar with the company, I have told you something about the company Oticon, GN, Resound, and Videx. You are familiar with these companies making hearing equipment. All three companies, they are using 50, 60, 70 million kroner, Danish kroner each year on researching and developing a platform of technology. They have established a common company where they work together just with this common technology platform of use for producing and manufacturing the hearing equipment, hearing aids. So here we have three famous Danish companies, GN, Great Nordic Resound, Oticon, and Videx. They are competitors all over the world within a limited field, within some specific value chain elements, namely research and development. They are working together but are competing all over the world with the final product. Because if all three companies have to use 50 million kroner of a technology platform, they could be more efficient if they were to put these costs into three companies instead of just one and doing the same specific tasks alone. So that was an example of competitors working together, and still they are competing in the international world or the global world. Hierarchical modes means that our home country company, different kinds of subsidiaries in other countries. It means they own resident sales representatives, they own production facility, they own sales facility called sales subsidiaries. That's the hierarchical mode of entry, or their own regional centers all over the world, or transnational, globally integrated. The home country owns companies, businesses, subsidiaries in other countries. that has some advantages and they have some minuses. The advantage is that if a company is present in another country, it will help with their image. The customers and the government will be happy for that country. For instance, if you are going to sell my company, my furniture to the Chinese huge market, China is the world's biggest country when we use the numbers of inhabitants. If I want to sell my products to the Chinese market, the government legislation has decided that then you have to make a factory, a business inside China to produce and use Chinese workers. You may be the boss, they tell me, but you have to use home country workers to favor their home market situation. So it will give you some advantages, but it will be more costly for you. But at the same time, the Chinese workers, they are efficient and they have a low wage compared to Denmark and Sweden and other high developed countries. So if we'll, to the exam, we'll ask you, what about the different, three different entry modes? You have to mention export mode, hierarchical modes, and intermediate modes, and you have to focus where is the physical border. Of course, I am aware that there might be problems if I make a physical presence into another country by building a factory, and then I want to withdraw back to Denmark. I am aware then the foreign market will be angry and tell me that was bad, now we lose a lot of jobs and so on. I'm aware. But if the decision was to be a good decision, then I have to make a thorough analysis and find out, does it give me profit to be situated in that country in the next year? And if it won't give me any more profit, then I have to withdraw. You always use a profit maximization way of thinking. A company doesn't want to exist in another country if it doesn't receive a profit. That's so simple. You don't want to attend to school at your bachelor education if you don't learn anything. Then you can sit in your bed and sofa at home and read the book yourself. What does that mean to you? That means to you that your teacher now is telling you about a specific kind of course, which is called the